Hi everybody, and today I thought I would tell you 5 reasons why you will love Denmark, based just on its geography. Stay tuned. Hi there and welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Kelly and I'm an American living in Denmark, and I feel that I have a really good opportunity to experience Denmark brand new, and so there are a lot of things that I am seeing for the first time, experiencing for the first time, and really getting an appreciation for. So I am going to be sharing those with you in this video, and it's specifically things that have to do with Danish geography. So if you are not already a subscriber to my channel, please consider clicking that red button and ringing the bell, get notifications whenever I post new videos. Let YouTube know that content about Denmark is important and that you'd like to see more of it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So one reason why you'd love Denmark is because of the fact that it has so many islands. If you think about just off the eastern coast of the peninsula of Jutland, there are over 400 islands. Yes, these are not all islands that you'd be going to and visiting and island hopping. I mean, less than 100 of them actually are inhabited by other people. There's so many interesting places with their own little towns and history and geography that you can experience that is very different than other places in Denmark. Actually, there are 2 really big islands. One is called Sjælland, and that's where Copenhagen is located, and the other one is called Fyn, which is kind of in the middle. If you look at Denmark being a peninsula and a couple of islands, it's the middle one, and that one is also the home to Hans Christian Andersen, which is one of Denmark's most famous poets and story writers. So there's a lot that's different in all of these places that you're going to experience. When you go to some of the smaller islands, there's nature there that you're not going to be seeing in other places. We actually just visited the island of Fur. It's kind of where the northern part of Denmark meets the middle part of Denmark. There is an inlet of water there called the Limfjord. And in that area, you can find Fur. And believe me, it is one of the most breathtaking places that I have been to so far in Denmark. The Limfjord is such a beautiful area, and this island blew my mind away. I'm going to put a link in the description that tells you all about our day on the island of Fur and the cliffs that we saw and the hiking trip that we took and the craft beer. I mean, I'm telling you, this island had so many different things. And the ferry that took us over there only took 4 minutes. To me, that is really the kind of trip that I want to take. It doesn't take a long time on a boat, and I'm out in nature and I get to explore all of these beautiful parts of Denmark that I never even knew existed. There are so many other islands also as well. And I know for me, I live in the middle of the US growing up, and we were never near any kind of island. So the fact that there's so many in a very short distance from me now, it's really exciting. Another fact that will make you just love Denmark is that actually no matter where you are in Denmark, you're no more than 50 kilometers or 31 miles from the sea. And that is amazing to me, again, living in the middle of the US, being landlocked for most of my life. Then you come to Denmark and you're thinking, okay, maybe I want to go to the coast today. Maybe you live on the coast in Denmark, or that you're so close to it, you can walk there, you can ride your bike. For us, we actually would have to drive that 50 kilometers or whatever because we're in the middle of the peninsula. But that's not a long time to be in a car to get to the coast. Where we live, we'd be really close to the North Sea or the Kattegat, which is that area of water in between the eastern coast of Denmark and the southwestern part of Sweden. but we're also really close to the inlet of the Limfjord. So it's not necessarily that you have to be on the very edge of the country, but there are many different places within Denmark where the sea comes to you. So it makes it very easy to get to. And it's such a great feeling, especially on some of these warm summer days, to be able to just go off and enjoy yourself by the water. Number 3 goes along with that. With Danish geography, there is so much coastline. And it's unbelievable that over 8,000 kilometers, which is over 5,000 miles of Denmark, is coastline. So when you're thinking of where's the best beach to go to, and oh, I'm not really sure about finding a good beach, they're everywhere. You can go to, like I said, these inlets. You could go to the coast on the edge of the country. If you're on an island, there's plenty of coastline there. Some of these coastlines will have sand, some of them will have rock. They're all going to be very different from each other. And so that's one thing that I love about exploring Denmark, is being able to see the differences between these different coastlines. We were just on the northwest coast of Denmark. We were in an area that is actually called Cold Hawaii, because they have these huge waves like what you would find in Hawaii, but it's obviously a bit colder up here in Denmark. But it's so amazing because I'd never seen anything like that, never seen waves like that in Denmark. But where we went to, it was just so amazing. You'll have to check out my blog and our post where I talk about the 2 national parks in the northwestern part of Denmark. A truly breathtaking place. Unbelievable. When you have been traveling so long in an area where I live that is filled with farmlands, and then you go to this place that's filled with hills and sand dunes and all of these different parts of nature, it's quite amazing. And then you're not very far off from this wild and crazy wave beach. It's really amazing. So if you've seen one coastline in Denmark, you have not seen them all. There are a lot of areas when you think about Denmark's peninsula, which is where I live. There's a lot of flat farmland, a lot of fields, a lot of cows and things like that. But that also is kind of a great thing, because number 4 of the reason why you will love Denmark based on geography, it's such a great country for biking. So many people in Denmark bike around whenever they want to get from point A to point B, which means that there is a lot of bike safety out there, and there's also a lot of bike lanes. There's actually 7,000 kilometers, which is over 4,000 miles of designated bike lanes in Denmark. So if you want to make your way around in a big town, you don't have to have a car. You can take your bike. You can rent a bike in a lot of these places. Getting around by bike is easier than a lot of other countries, and it's safer too. And not just with the bike lanes, there's also so many bike routes. There are over 12,000 kilometers, which is over 7,000 miles of bike routes in Denmark. You can go online and find bike route maps in different areas. A few years ago, quite a few years ago actually, when my husband and I were dating, we actually came to Denmark to visit his family for the summer. We were living in the US. So this was before I moved here. And we took a bike trip around a couple of different islands in the southern part of Denmark. We went along the island of Als, Ærø, and Fyn. And we were able to connect to all these different islands by ferry. And it was so easy to take our bike on and take our bike off and just keep going. We're not professional bikers by any means, and this is just cycling. This is not like a motorbike or anything, but you could do that too. We were able to spend a weekend and travel to all these different places by bike and backpack. And it was so amazing. We were not exhausted. It was a great ride because Denmark is relatively flat. I'm going to put a link down in my description, so if you would like to check out that part of our bike trip, I show you us biking on the island of Ærø, which is one of the most picturesque places that I've seen in Denmark. It has a sweet little village called Ærøskøbing that feels like it's been untouched by time. It's quite a wonderful place. And funny enough that a lot of these small islands tend to have their own microbreweries, and this one does too. It's just really interesting, the things that you'll find when you're traveling around that you just don't expect. But we love the nature when we were traveling on that bike trip. We loved the farmlands, and we were also so close to the coast multiple times during that trip. It was just really an interesting experience. So the geography of Denmark, being that it's basically flat, you can get around and have a really good experience by bike. Then that leads to my number 5, is that you will find lots of cliffs here. Yes, it's really flat in a lot of different places in Denmark. So when you see these cliffs, it's really quite impressive. Now again, I come from the Midwest in the US, and I'm not really one to have had a lot of experience with cliffs. So when I came to Denmark, I didn't really think there were any. There was a lot of flat land. I just kind of knew that there was a lot of beaches, but with a lot of the traveling that we've been doing, and especially lately, we've seen so many of these different cliffs that it's just been mind-boggling. There are cliffs on the west coast, like the Bjovbjerg Klint, and they're called Klints, if I'm saying Bjovbjerg correctly. That's on the west coast. Then there's also, like I said, the island of Fur with the Klints that they have there. They have Store Knul's Hole and the Lille Knul's Hole. Such interesting names for these cliffs. The island of Fur is just packed with them. You definitely need to check that post out in my blog. There's also some on the Baltic Sea part of Denmark, over south of Copenhagen. There is an island called Møn, and there's Møns Klint. And that's one of the most famous cliffs that you would even find in Denmark. But it's so amazing how many that there are here. And there are so many different things to explore. There you have it. Which of these 5 stands out mostly for you, and that you would think would make you love Denmark based on geography? Do you have others that you would like to add to the list? I know that there are so many other beautiful things in nature that I'm thinking about, and I could be inspired to create a list of some of my favorite natural places to visit in Denmark. Let me know what you think about that idea in the comments. Thanks a lot for coming along on this video. As always, take care.